Hello and welcome to another Empires and Puzzles Books video. Today we are going to be talking about the Taunt heroes. Which Taunt hero is best? I was asked a while ago to do a video comparing Krampus and Black Knight. I started to make that and I got sidetracked. Now that the new hero of the month, Kara, is here, I thought it might be time to finally make this video comparing the Taunt heroes. This was also inspired by a comment I found interesting on Facebook in a discussion comparing the Taunt heroes. So one of Facebook users stated, the minions plus attack boost of Krampus is clearly superior to Kara. Kara's stats plus family bonus plus other factors are superior to Black Knight. Obvious. Clearly obvious. Is this really clear and obvious? I'm not so sure. And what about Kara's other factors? And how do they compare to Krampus? So here it is, a full analysis of these Taunt heroes, so you can decide which is best for you. For me, I find the idea of best as kind of a sort of silly word, in my opinion. As with all things in this game, it depends. Which is best depends on any specific scenario given in the game. You know, the elements alone may depend on which one is best. You know, are you stacking holy? Are you stacking nature? Are you stacking ice? Are you stacking dark? You know, who are you attacking? So in any given scenario, the color might dictate which is best. But then again, the type of event, a war or tournament, may change which is best. So that said, these are all terrific. They're all worthy of maxing and incorporating into our teams. The Taunt heroes are just great. So this is kind of debating minutia at this point, but let's go in and jump in and do a deep dive, and I'm going to analyze these four heroes. Krampus, Costumed Krampus, Kara, and Black Knight. Wait. What about Ludwig? And I say, what about him? He's in a class of his own. His special is not in line with the others. In addition to his taunt, he's doing mana boosting, and it's a very different kind of experience than these other four heroes that are all doing some variation of attack up and defense up. So we're going to leave Ludwig go for now, and we'll just leave it at simply, he is amazing. If you have Ludwig, congrats. He's a strong hero. Use him to your heart's content. At this point, though, let's jump in and let's start comparing these other four heroes. And we're going to do this line by line. And like I said, ultimately you can decide which is best. So looking at mana speed, they are all average heroes, which is decent. The game has been giving us a lot of ways to build mana. There's a lot of mana boosting options out there. So average speed is pretty decent. And they're all equivalent there. So we're looking at the attack stack next. Clearly, Costume Krampus is well in the lead at 766. Kara is not too far behind at 751. Krampus and Black Knight are pretty far back in the 600s. For defense, which gets very important with these heroes, we're looking at 852 on regular Krampus, which is a beastly number. That is awesome defense number. Black Knight comes in second place there at 846, very solid defense, and Kara comes up in last place at 762, and Costume Krampus is just butting on the edge of the 800s there with a 799. Health, also very important. We want to keep these heroes alive. We are looking at 1468 for Krampus. Again, he takes on a dominant role there with Black Knight in 1458, and then Kara and Krampus costume a little further back in the 1400s. Power, you know, I just find this to be a stupid number in the game. I will never understand how power is a thing. I've never seen any place in the game that power has been relevant in any significant way. But clearly Costume Krampus is there at 819. The costume heroes tend to have much higher power numbers. And then Krampus and Kara are both at 802. For whatever that's worth. Now the next big thing that I want to compare is how long do they actually apply the taunt. Kara is the only one that is applying taunt for 4 turns, and that is a huge number for us to consider. If you consider what taunt is doing, it's protecting our team. That is an extra turn of protection. It's 30% more protection. So that to me is a huge advantage to Kara, that 4 turns versus the other 3 are all stuck at 3 turns. All right, let's go ahead now and look at how they're increasing defense. So we have Black Knight, who's giving a 50% chance to drop his defense down to just taking 1 point of damage for 3 turns. Krampus is increasing his defense to 30% for 3 turns. Regular Krampus is 44% for 3 turns, plus an additional 10% anytime he's hit for the next 3 turns. Kara comes in at a whopping plus 74% defense, and that is for 4 turns. So that is clearly the most dominant defense protection you have there. It's guaranteed at 74% defense, and it is for 4 turns. Now, looking at the attack up, Krampus is clearly a winner. 50% attack for 3 turns mathematically is better than Kara's 34% for 4. But the 34% for 4 will most likely work out better in most scenarios than the 45% for 3 turns for Black Knight and Costume Krampus. I'm not going to get into all the math here and now, but over the long haul, assuming everybody gets their attack up in place and considering the random hits, the 34% increase for 4 turns is generally going to be mathematically better than the 45% for 3. All right, next let's look at minions. Who summons minions? It's only the 2 versions of Krampus, so they're clearly a winner there. That's an advantage, a huge advantage to the Krampus lovers out here that they bring up minions. Neither Black Knight or Kara have minions. Now let's compare class. So we're looking at Sorcerer versus 2 Barbarians and a Paladin. And Paladin is clearly a winner in my opinion, especially for these taunt heroes, because Paladin is increasing defense even more. The Barbarians have a chance to put bleed, and Sorcerer has a chance to decrease mana of the attacker. Bleed is not a huge factor to me. That increasing defense for Paladin is huge, and the Sorcerer mana reduction is kind of nice, but not really game-changing in my opinion. All right, looking at the Elemental Link, the only one that gives an Elemental Link is Kara, and that's plus 10% defense for herself and any other holy allies. The Krampuses and Black Knight do not have an elemental defense, so clear winner here for Kara. And that 10% defense, keep in mind, when her special goes off, she's getting 74% defense, plus the 10% from the Elemental Link, plus anything that she may have in place from the Paladin. So her defense increase is a massive, massive number. All right, so next let's look at the family bonuses. We have Krampus obviously has the Santa family, Black Knight has Avalon, and Kara was going to have whatever the Hero of the Month 2022 is going to be. I don't know what that is yet, but I'm willing to bank that that is going to be stronger than any of the other 2. The Avalon family bonus with critical chance and some other things there isn't all that stellar. Plus, you need to use Avalon heroes together in order to get that family bonus, and they just aren't heroes that I would most likely be using together in either offense or defense, so I put little value on the Avalon family bonus. The Santa family bonus is an increase to the stats for the minions, which is fantastic, except that most of the Santa family heroes are slow, so you're dealing with slow Santa, slow Mother North. They do have fast Mr. Pengy in there now, which helps. But generally speaking, these are not heroes I'm going to use in a lot of events unless they're rushed and the mana speed's increased, or possibly in raids where we can have different raid formations. But for general warring and tournaments and things, I do not see the Santa family being used together. Now, with Kara, that Hero of the Month, I'm going to be willing to bet that that's going to be a more valuable asset once this year is done and they release what that is. So let's talk about passives. First passive, Krampuses and Black Knight have no passive. Kara has resist defense down and elemental defense down. This is huge. We know how important defense down and elemental defense down is. She resists both, so you're not going to do that. So she has all these 3 things in place that are increasing her defense stat, and then you have no ability to decrease her defense stat in any way. So that is huge. Another one massively in her favor. And then there is a second passive. And again, the Krampuses and Black Knight do not have passives. But she gets mana on debuff, 10% mana whenever she is debuffed. So one of the biggest things that we can do against taunt heroes is debuff them, right? Remove the taunt. Or in my case, I love using the Hatter to steal the taunt. Well, if we get rid of her buff, if we debuff her, she's going to get 10% mana for losing the taunt, 10% mana for losing the defense up, and 10% mana for losing the attack up. So she's going to get 30% mana. Imagine that, 30% mana anytime you try to get rid of that taunt, and if you don't get rid of it, you're stuck with fighting against it for 4 turns. I think this is something that really pushes Kara to the top of the list for me. The last thing I'm going to look at here is their element. Obviously, Krampuses are ice, and Black Knight is fire, and Kara is holy. And I'm going to put the advantage there to Black Knight on this one, just because of. Well, let me work backwards. So I'm working against ice here because of the green teams that are out there that can really attack and debuff the ice teams. I would also say that the Hatter, and now that I know not everybody has the Hatter, and I love the Hatter, but the Hatter is fantastic for stealing taunt. So I'm super excited whenever I see a Krampus and I pull out the Hatter. I'm ready to stack some green against them. Even if Krampus is not the tank, I will often go green just so I have the ability to steal that. Plus the number of debuffers out there for green teams, there is a bunch. So I think ice is a weak color for the kind of special we're talking about here with taunt, since it can be removed. Fire, there's not quite as many ice debuffers out there. There are a few. And then holy, I would put in second place. My concern with holy is that there are a number of debuffers that debuff first, which is super important. Dark heroes I'm talking about that will debuff first. So think of the Cage Barado and Onyx and several heroes out there dark heroes will take away the buff before they strike. So I think that's a deficit for her on holy, but again, I don't think that's nearly as bad as ice. Another factor in this is a place that I didn't put another category here, but 2 other categories I would consider looking at when comparing these is I think it works against Krampus a little bit that he is a minion generator, since there are heroes out there that specifically will eliminate minions and give a benefit to the team for eliminating minions. We're seeing more of these minion counters. So there are specific heroes we can use against the Krampuses versus Black Knight and Kara will just be victim to regular heroes and regular attacks like anybody else. Another advantage I would put in favor of Kara is her availability. She's a hero of the month. It is much easier to summon a hero of the month than these specialty event heroes like Black Knight or Krampus, especially if you're new to the game. So that is my analysis of these 4 heroes. I'm always curious what you think. Where do you think I got it right? Where do you think I got it wrong? Who are you excited about playing with here? My Kara is just about maxed, so I will be doing a test drive video with her soon. But I am really impressed with what I'm seeing on her card. I'll be super excited to start playing with her. And if you can't tell, in my opinion, all things being equal, putting specific events, tournament rules, and war rules and things out of play, and assuming all color options, I would put Kara as my lead strongest taunter. That 4 turns to taunt and the 3 levels of defense increases without being able to decrease the defense, I just think that is massive for her. So let me know your thoughts. I always appreciate hearing from you guys. Thanks.